Salutations everybody, it is Maddie here today, and if you told me this week that I'd be getting behind the microphone discussing the possibility of Bethesda characters in Smash Brothers Ultimate, I would have called you frickin' insane. But it seems it's very well now a possibility thanks to an interview by Metro.com, which I will have linked in the description down below. Please do give it a look. It's a super transparent interview with Hines, and they go on to talk about microtransactions, how Bethesda views game sales in the terms of success versus failure. Of course, the main topic that I want to focus on today from this whole interview is Nintendo. Also, you've probably noticed already that the gameplay doesn't really match up with Smash Brothers, but that's the issue with making Nintendo videos, is that they're not friendly to creators, so I have to break that mold within me who loves matching up gameplay with any single thing I'm talking about. I'm huge about visual representation, but I have to not do it here because it is a Nintendo game, so I hope you guys do understand that. So let's get right into it and pick up right as the interview concludes. Would you consider making an exclusive Nintendo title? To which Hines answers, it's possible, but that's up to the devs in terms of what game is it that they'd be talking about. The interviewer goes on to explain, Ubisoft are the other Western publisher that gets on well with Nintendo, and they made Mario and Rabbids, where they were able to actually borrow Nintendo characters to use in it. Have you had that kind of development conversation? Which Hines laughably answers saying, yeah, I'm not really gonna get into that right now. The reason I don't see this happening is just because Ubisoft had Rabbids to lend to Nintendo, which is a kid-friendly intellectual property. It kind of worked well, and thus Mario and Rabbids combined to make what I feel is one of the best exclusives on the Nintendo Switch, where Bethesda has a lot of more mature themed characters like the Doom Marine, like Corvo Atano, and I don't think Nintendo's gonna want to have the Doom Marine going around stomping out Mario characters' heads and whatnot. I don't think that would go too well for their very kid-friendly approach at times. Anyway, continuing onwards, the interviewer says, I'm not expecting you to announce a game, but have you at least talked to them about that sort of thing? And Hines says in a very vague manner, we're always having conversations with them, but then again, those conversations wouldn't necessarily take place with me. They'd take place with a dev to say, we have an idea for this or that, and we want to do a game that is a crossover with the Switch. So pretty much, if Nintendo saw Machine Games, or they saw Arcane Studios, and they were like, hey, we have this idea for a stealth game or a first-person shooter, we think you'd be a great fit, it would go to them, not Hines. Getting closer to the juicy stuff, I never feel like we have enough collaborations in this industry between developers with very different skill sets, which Hines says, sure, although I will say they're probably not easy to do. I've done some license work before, and there is a lot of baggage that comes with it, with all those different rules for how you can do things. The interviewer proceeds to, loosen up Hines a little bit, like, I bet Nintendo's terrible for that, which Hines agrees, and then the PR guy tries to shoo them out a second time towards the conclusion of this interview, so things are starting to get a little tense, and then there's one final question. The interviewer says, this will take just a second, I can guarantee he's going to give a very short answer. Hines laughs in response, and then the interviewer fires away, have you spoken to them about Smash Brothers? Which Hines goes, a very affirmative, oh yeah. And then that's it, I see, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much for your time. Now, I thought that this might be something in jest, but then I went to the top of the interview where they say, along the way, Hines managed to confirm Wolfenstein 3, imply that the death of Dishonored may have been exaggerated, and even hint that a Bethesda character turning up in Smash Bros. Ultimate wouldn't be the most unlikely thing in the world. The issue with these written interviews versus ones that we see on YouTube in video format is that we can't get the tonal context. We don't know if they're being sarcastic, if they're joking around, because we see a lot of laughter brackets inserted at this point in the conversation. It seems like a very loose interview, but based off them headlining it and talking about how the potential of a Smash Bros. Ultimate appearance from Bethesda isn't unlikely, it seems like this was said in a somewhat serious context, like, oh yeah, we definitely have. So naturally, the speculitis took me over. Now, I will say this as someone who absolutely loves Smash Brothers characters, is I don't think it really thrives off its popularity when it comes to guest character appearances. In fact, I think those are mostly saved for now DLC. I feel like during this hype cycle for Smash Bros. Ultimate, they're going to want to announce as many Nintendo-based characters, kind of like they just did earlier with Isabelle or King K. Rool, characters that Smash fans for a long time have been asking for. Where a Bethesda character and other third-party entries, like people have talked about Sora and Smash from Kingdom Hearts or Goku from Dragon Ball in Smash, and I feel like those would bring more attention to the game after launch. I think Smash Brothers is going to cultivate and bring its community together with its natural Nintendo-based characters, and then down the line a little bit, we're going to start seeing more guest character appearances. This is just my speculation, because it's not like, for example, Soul Calibur, where the big thing that really draws in additional audience is that guest character appearance, whether it was Yoda, Darth Vader, Ezio, or now we have Geralt of Rivia. That's always a big part of the excitement for Soul Calibur on top of its exquisite swordplay. But with Smash Brothers and Bethesda characters, I was really thinking hard about the entire roster of Bethesda and the games that they publish and who would fit in Smash Brothers, and even the Dovahkiin, where I think that had the perfect skill set for Smash Brothers: melee weapons, ranged weapons, magic, dragon shouts. He could be a great fit. I also realized that, you know what, even that might be a little gritty, I feel. Not that sword characters are foreign in Smash, but I just felt like, you know what, the last thing they need after all those Fire Emblem characters is another sword-wielding character. Then it hit me. The most charismatic mascot from any Bethesda game, arguably its most popular one too, is the Vault Boy. And especially when you look at the marketing videos for Fallout 76, and all the different forms of the Vault Boy, and all the funny animations that come with him. How he could sort of be like Mr. Game & Watch, and how he could have these separate models that almost represent attacks in this quirky manner, I think would fit the Vault Boy perfectly in a Smash game. He's got that cartoony look to him. He's child-friendly, at least aesthetically when you first look at him, not in the gruesome ways that he dies throughout all of the promotional material for both Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. And on top of that, we can't forget the latest inclusion of Fallout on the Nintendo Switch, which was Fallout Shelter. Is that making it evident that the Vault Boy will be in Smash Brothers? No, but Bethesda does have a strong partnership with Nintendo, as is evident with this interview in general, but also when we see the inclusion of Fallout on this platform, it does make a strong case for the Vault Boy to appear in some way, shape, or form, considering this is a popular game on Switch since it's free to play. I think he would honestly, out of anything from Bethesda when it comes to a playable character, be the best fit for Smash. However, it doesn't always have to be a playable character. There are also the assist trophies, which I also think a Bethesda character could fit their way into if possible. It's just amazing to spin the wheels on, right? Like, this is an actual conversation we can have, because Pete Hines is like, yeah, we're talking to him about Smash Brothers. I mean, I hope what would happen is something along the lines of the Animal Crossing treatment. They announced the new Animal Crossing game, and they also announced a Smash Brothers character appearance. Like, imagine a Fallout 3 or New Vegas anniversary for the Switch, and on top of that, we get the Smash Brothers character announcement too. That would be insane. But like I said, I think this is the type of stuff that's gonna happen down the line after the launch of the game. I think they're going to focus on getting all the big requests for Nintendo characters in. Also, I remember Sakurai saying that they're not really going to add a ton of brand new characters this time around because of all the balancing they've got to do. You know, they have to make sure that these characters mesh well with each other. And of course, if the Vault Boy were in, for example, that's a brand new original character with its own skill set that has to be specially balanced for the entire game, unlike a lot of Echo fighters, which share similar movesets to fighters in Smash Brothers already, where it's not as hard to balance that. I mean, if I'm really letting the speculitis fully take me over here, I'm thinking of a stage outside of Diamond City. We're all battling, and then when it's kind of like F-Zero, where the stage starts to move, we all get on a vertibird, and we're continuing the brawl there, and it takes us to another stage in Smash Brothers. I mean, as a Fallout fan, that would be one of the coolest moments ever. The other reason that I'm really suggesting the idea of this type of content coming after launch is because, considering the name is Smash Brothers Ultimate, this is designed to be the biggest, best, most insane Smash Brothers game, and I think a big part of that plan is going to be the post-launch content, because this is going to be one of the Nintendo flagships. It's going to be designed to push tons of Switch units, because think of it this way, the Switch is still fairly new. It won't be until March of 2019 that it's only 2 years old. So still getting the console in people's hands is a huge priority for Nintendo, and feeding off of partnerships that they have established, like Ubisoft, like Bethesda, and including those characters in some way, shape, or form, at least gets the gamers' interest for those who don't want to make the jump onto Nintendo's platform quite yet. So we'll see in due time, but this is just a really exciting prospect and has me even more pumped for Smash Bros. Ultimate this year. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What character from Bethesda's roster do you think would make a great fit for Smash, whether it's an assist trophy or a playable character? You think it's going to be a launch title character or DLC? Let me know in the comments down below. This is so awesome, man, and I can't wait to read what you guys have to say. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.